There we go. Now bring the chat back. Now bring the chat back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, right in the type menu option. Now we'll get IG rocking and rolling. Peace and love, kings, queens, and gods. We getting the ball rolling. I left my mouse at home, so it makes things a little bit more complicated. However, we're still gonna get the Joan rocking. Grab something cushiony, get some water. Boom, ooh, I'm good. And now we here live at Instagram, on IG. Like I mentioned before, grab something comfy, grab some water, get ready to get the ball rolling. Floating Yogis book club's happening. And we got some fun stuff to talk about today. Ooh, we stopped at the right point. So I'm gonna drink some of this tea. There he is. All right. Oh, and by the way, this tea, before we even get the ball rolling, this tea is the wellness blend that I have, right? Boom. This is a sneak preview, right? We got the wellness blend. It's hibiscus, chamomile, elderberry, phenomenal with a little something else on it. I ain't even saying off. Once we get the labels come in and everything, rocking and rolling. They're up on the website, just like the bowls from Buddha of Blessing. You already know how we doing there. The wellness one is fire. And then I got a Dragon Well detox. Green tea, Tulsi to open up the lungs, rejuvenate the lungs, give you a little bit of energy, and matcha to detox. I'm telling you. And what else is there? There's 4 different blends, but I only got 3 here because the other one's such fire, I drink it all. So we got to restock. Don't get your own supply type thing. I'm not doing that greatest at the moment. However, I have a smoke blend option, which is tea, which is also a smoke blend. There's Blue Lotus in there, and if you know anything about Blue Lotus, it has phenomenal effects for the consciousness. And some people use it to get off of weed. I like to mix it with my weed. So that's just a little fun fact for later. Please feel free to bring it up when we're talking about the breath later. What else is here? This is also brought to you by Boop UE, Urban Yogic Wellness and Education. We're restructuring health and wellness in the community, bringing the power of healing and evolution back to the individual's hands. And by these broadcasts, it's by Born to Fly, where fitness is fashion. Their morning boot camps in studio or virtual. There's a bunch of options here. And also, if you're rocking with the teas, I'm gonna let you know now, Mono's Detox is gonna get you hooked up with nutrition, understanding how smoothies, sea moss, they affect the body. So he's got a little bit more on that. We be vibing. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have him on one of these sessions so we can get a little bit deeper into it. But that's for a later date. Outside of that, damn. Tea's too good. I don't even want the water. I'm dehydrated as hell right now. I got the water right here, still drinking the tea because it's so good. Okay, so we've been reading the Book of Secrets, and we went over Osha, the concept of Shiva, Shakti, the Tantra. We went over about Mount Kailash being the abode where Shiva lives, and we got into the first 4 breathing techniques. And watching the gap between the breath, watching the turn of the breath, watching the fusion of the breath, and being aware when the breath stops. Boom. So those are those 4. And then we got into the deceptions of the mind. Ooh, this one's juicy today. So where we left off with, they have a question. How is it possible that by simply becoming aware of a particular point in the breathing process, one can attain enlightenment? How is it possible to become free from unconscious just by being aware of such a small momentary gap in the breathing? So that was like the premise of what we were talking about. He also mentioned, did we get that far talking about the mind and how it tries to deceive us? We go back a little bit. We go back to here. Some excerpts that I underline. When you take your breath in, you never feel the breath. You never felt the breath, you will immediately deny this and you'll say that this is not right. We may be conscious, continuously, but we feel the breath. No, oh, no, you do not feel the breath. You feel the passage. Look at the sea. The waves are there. You see the waves, but the waves are created by air, wind. You do not see the wind. You see the effect on the water. When you take a breath in and it touches your nostril, you feel the nostril, but you never know the breath. It goes down, you feel the passage, it comes back. Again, you feel the passage, you never feel the breath. You just feel the touch of the passage. Anything to add that you wanted to say from, that came to you from last week? Please feel free to drop it in the chat. Raise a hand if you're in the Zoom room. We can get it. Doom. What else is there? So he said, Shiva says, first be aware. First, you will become aware of the passage, and when you have become completely aware of the passage, only then will you begin, by and by, to become aware of the breath itself. And when you become aware of the breath, when you are capable of being aware of the gap, the interval, it's not so easy as it looks. So for Tantra, for all seeking, there are layers of awareness. If I embrace you, first you will become aware of my touch upon your body, not my love. My love is not so gross. Ordinarily, we never become aware of love. We are aware only of the body and movement. We know loving movements. We know non-loving movements. But we have never known love itself. If I kiss you, you become aware of the touch, not of my love. That love is a very subtle thing, and unless you become aware of my love, the kiss is just dead and it's meaningless. So that was another part, and I like to look at that kind of parallel to a lot of times we are looking, physically trying to see the manifestation of love, but it is that more subtle, those subtle small things that build up to create a life-changing scenario or environment for you. So I look at love more so as the mindset, the fabric behind it. Boom. Because you can do something with a whole bunch of love and great intention, and then it falls through on the end. Did you not love that person? That's all I'm saying. So love is a mindset. All right, moving forward. Boom. In reality, there is no dilemma. In reality, there is no problem. There never has been and there never will be. In mind, there are problems. And when you look at reality through the mind, thus the reality becomes problematic. Your mind works like a prison. It divides and it creates problems. And not only that, it creates solutions which become deeper problems. Because in fact, there are no problems to be solved. Reality is absolutely unproblematic. There is no problem. But you cannot see anything without problems. Wherever you look, you create problems. Your look is problematic. I told you this breath technique. Now the mind says, this is so simple. Why does the mind say this is so simple? So this goes back into finding that the replay pattern that we tap into and tune into when the mind tries to deceive us or throw us off course. If you're saying oh my gosh, I'm tired, I don't want to get up, and then the mind starts giving you, if you say, I have to be up at 9, then the mind starts giving you, late at night, it could be you got to be up at 9, so you really gonna stay up this late? You know, Jumi gonna wake up at 6, and then she gonna wake up again at 8, and you got to be up at 9, so it's not gonna be that solid sleep that you want. So you want to go home now and not do what you were doing, or you want to, I think that's the best option. Then I start leaning towards the option of, let me just go home now, I'm gonna get that rest. Meanwhile, I'm missing hella opportunities, and I still don't get the rest any daggone way in reality. So it's just finding that replay reel and how the mind will trick us and find a back door once we get that confidence of consciousness, that awareness.
Ooh. I feel like every Eastern book has the same introduction in a sense, which is setting up the mental framework of this consciousness. And this is only like the fourth or fifth book that I've been through that I really paid attention to. But I feel like all the ones that I really appreciate all have this same similar intro that's about getting out of the world or getting into your mind or the consciousness. Like it starts from that and it builds on that context. You
Mm-hmm.
know, kind of like anything. You know, you have a prerequisite and then you have the class. You know, so
I feel like they set the framework so you understand where they're coming from because it's a whole different system of thinking. Allopathic medicine and homeopathic medicine, they see different problems in the same situation, in the same environment, and they address them differently. So you got to lay the framework, especially if our society has all been groomed and taught to think one way or be a certain way. How are we? We're looking at these. I'm talking to my dad. I got him to do acupuncture. Speaking on it, he did acupuncture yesterday. I was like, "How you feeling?" Yeah, I'm feeling good. But it was rare. Like I've been like hardcore into yoga for about 7 years, and it took about 4 or 5 years to get them to not say yoga. Oh, you're just stretching and breathing, and oh, you're doing that stuff. Okay, you feel good, huh? I'm like, there's so much more to it, but the narrative of what yoga is has been spread through America so deep, even with like the you're doing work, you're doing all these prayer hands and doing this, you're worshiping the devil. What? Nah, when you know me to worship the devil, that I'm crazy. I ain't trying to mess with that. I'm trying to go the other way. I got some growth to get. I got some healing to do. I got some evolution to get on. Like what? I'm creating out this joke. I ain't worried about all that. Anyway, thank you. So everything is simple, really. It's simple. It seems complex only because of ignorance. Otherwise, everything is simple. Once you know it, it becomes simple. The knowing is bound to be difficult, not because of reality. Remember, but because of your mind. This technique is simple, but it's not going to be simple for you. Your mind will create difficulty, so try with it. I like that part. I really like that part. The knowing is bound to be difficult, not because of reality. Remember, but because of your mind, and it's just showing like that's like when I learned to read late, so I wasn't like an early reader. Late, like third grade, I would watch other people and then learn from that. So the when I started reading, the challenge came in. Oh, and ADHD, all that other fun stuff. We'll get into that. I got my words on that. Allopathic medicine. Just name symptoms and just call it something and come up with expensive ways to treat it, but not cure it. Whew, that's not COVID, y'all. I don't know what that was. Damn sure not with these teas. Okay, I digress. The knowing is bound to be difficult because, like, when I started reading, I would go in and then my mind would start saying things that aren't on the page. It would be like, how long are you gonna read? You're gonna read for a time limit? You're just gonna read a couple pages? You're gonna stop at this paragraph? And then I start seeing my mind like creating ways to distract me from what I'm focused on. And this is that awareness that we're talking about. I believe he gets a little bit deeper. I'm gonna just read the joke because I ain't trying to speak everything before he get there, because he got some smooth, suave ways of saying stuff. Okay, another friend says, if I try this method of being aware of my breathing, if I pay attention to my breathing, then I cannot do anything else. The whole attention goes to it. And if I'm to do anything else, I cannot be aware of my breathing. This will happen. Facts. This is the whole concept of yoga, of the Ashtanga practice. This will happen. So in the beginning, choose a particular period in the morning or in the evening or any time. It's just about making the commitment and doing it. You seeing how it correlates, right? Just pick any time and just do it. For 1 hour, just do this exercise. Do nothing else. Just do the exercise. Once you become attuned to it, then it will not be a problem. You can walk on the street and you can become aware. And maybe an hour for us in our social media world might be a very long time. So
I was about to say, did you just say an hour? Like for free? An hour? You asking for an hour?
mm-hmm.
Do you know how No,
Yo.
no, not the social media world. We
Hey.
talking an 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, 8 hours family world, right? Like,
Yo, cause I feel you on that. Cause baby Jumi blessed me today. The whole day was thrown off the schedule. Just throw it out the window and trash it. And then I was like, okay. And then she let me get in like a whole hour 30-minute practice. She woke up, did some crying, so I'm in down dog. I'm like, hey, no, you're okay. To keep her so I can stay in flow. It's like, no, stay focused. And then I started seeing myself, same thing in the book, seeing myself wander. I know I gotta pay attention to her, so I'm gonna pay attention to her. I know I gotta pay attention to my practice, my breathing. What else can I add to this awareness roster of what I'm aware of? And how can I zone out and not pay attention to things that aren't the practice, the breath, what's going on with my body, and her. We'll get into that. Ooh. Okay. Once you become attuned to it, then you can walk on the street and become aware. Between awareness and attention, there's a difference. Between awareness and attention, there's a difference. When you pay attention to anything, it is exclusive. You have to withdraw your attention from everywhere else. So it is attention, really. Right? You following me? You pay attention to the one thing at the cost of everything else. If you pay attention to your breathing, you cannot pay attention to your walking or your driving. Do not try this while you're driving because you cannot pay attention to both. I encourage building up that awareness before, I'm not saying do it either. Walking meditation. Let's go there. Ooh, this tea. Whoo-wee. Okay. Attention means one thing exclusively. Awareness is a very different thing. It is not exclusive. It is not paying attention. It is being attentive. It is just being conscious. So I'm back up a little bit. Attention means one thing exclusively. Awareness is a very different thing. It is not exclusive. It is not paying attention. It is being attentive. It is just being conscious. You are conscious when you are inclusively conscious. Your breathing is in your consciousness. You are walking and someone is passing and you are also conscious of him. Someone is making a noise on the road. The train passes by and airplanes fly by. Everything is included. Awareness is inclusive. Attention is exclusive. But in the beginning, it will be attention. So you see how you have to create the base, just like how you say it in Western philosophy. They're always like stating something and then giving you like the worlds that live within that. Any comments, IG, drop it on in the chat. Let me know where you're at. So I really like that distinction between attention and awareness, because a lot of times there is a differentiation, just like spirit and breath. A lot of times we correlate the two and say, oh, it's your spirit, it's your breath. No, they're very similar on a whole bunch of planes, but then it does break off. And understanding when it breaks off, and especially for you, allows you the awareness of the process. And with that awareness of the process, you can start to make changes and implement like shifts. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm aware of it. What is it now that's holding me back from doing it? Is it just flat out laziness because I don't want to get up? Is it me scrolling? Could I just put the phone down? What is the problem that my mind is creating? All right. So first, try in selected periods for 1 hour. Just be attentive with your breathing. He's gonna go over that again. I'm gonna skip through it. Do not. I'm not gonna skip through it. This might be helpful. By and by, you will be able to change your attention into awareness. Then do simple things. For example, walking. Walk attentively. Walk with full awareness of walking and also breathing. Do not create any opposition between the two actions of walking and breathing. Be a watcher of both. It is difficult. It is not difficult. And that observation state, the practice that we're actually doing tomorrow, Ashtanga, also Sukha Center, soft opening on the 31st. I'll be teaching my store, and that's exactly what this will help you to do. Create your own practice where you build and open up and expand at your own pace, at your own rate. I encourage a commitment of at least 3 days a week. I encourage 5 days a week, but a commitment. Make a commitment to yourself and see how that commitment evolves here. Ooh, I need to write that one down. Come on now. Ooh. Anyway, okay, so the Ashtanga practice, like I mentioned, it's built up and then the teacher gives it to you. And one other good thing about it is if it's taught worldwide, and this is like one of the long, I don't want to say longest lineage, because then they'll talk about, well, Hatha, this and that, blah, 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 blah. It was made for the Brahmin caste system. So the elites of the Indians, it was made for them. That makes it a little bit simple, right? So there's a reason for it. All right, moving forward. Look, for example, you can pay attention to one face here. If I pay attention to one face, all the faces will not be here for me. That's my shirt. It's not on me, but it's on the website. You can check it, download it. We only got a couple more sizes left for ladies. Okay. And they're not coming back. They're exclusive. Okay, if I pay my attention to one face, then all the rest are bracketed out. If I pay my attention only to the nose on the face, then the whole face, the remaining face, is bracketed out. I can go on narrowing down my attention to a single point. The reverse is also possible. If I pay attention to the whole face, then the eyes and the nose and everything are there. Then I have made my focus wider. If I look at you not as an individuals, but as a group, then the whole group is in my attention. If I take you as different from the noise that is going on in the street, then I'm bracketing out the street. But I can look at you in the street as a whole one. Then I can be aware of both you and the street. I can become aware of the whole cosmos. It depends on your focus. It depends on your focus on its becoming greater and greater. But first start with attention and remember that you have to grow into awareness. I had to underline that too, because that's another impactful point. A lot of times, especially nowadays, we got the pill popping community. Okay, I could have chose another. No, I'm going with pill popping community. We want it now. Daggone it. Give me the solution now. Give me the remedy now, and it's gonna solve it now. So that type of mindset is just the mind creating another distraction for you. Moving forward. So, choose a small period in the morning is good because you are fresh. Energies are vital, everything is rising, and you're more alive in the morning. Also, you're more in a theta wave state, so it's easier for you to be a little bit more receptive of things and process things a little bit more unbiased. It might even be not in the sense like, oh, now that I did it early in the morning, I'm not biased, I still hate you. No, you're still biased, but you're just in a different mental state. You're not as riled up as after you went running. Whole different feeling. After a yoga class, whole different feeling. So, and physiologists say that not only are you more alive, but you're also a little bit taller in the morning. And then in the evening, if you're 6 feet tall in the morning, then you're 6 feet and 1 inch in the evening. You go back to sleep, you're 6 feet. Half an inch is lost because your spine settles down when it's tired. So in the morning, you are fresh and young with alive energy. I like that distinction, and I'm gonna bring it back to make some sense, right? He said, half an inch is lost because your spine settles down when it is tired. Right, okay. So, think about back problems. Think about where you feel it on your back. Now, if your spine crunches down every night and you don't do anything to create space in those areas, what is bound to happen? Right? It's very simple. It's very simple. So, class tomorrow, bring that ass. Also in the morning, you can check out G's flows. She got tons of flows on there. You can just start with the sun salutations. Whatever works for you. It's here for you. That shirt ain't on, but damn it, do you care enough about your mental health to meditate today, or are you bullshitting on your greatness? I know y'all ain't. Well, I hope y'all ain't. I'm looking. Moving forward.
I meant to remind you, I didn't see it on your story.
Yesterday, yeah. I dropped the ball on that. I forgot to repost it.
I know I was gonna see you, so I'm trying to be like, hey, what's up? So.
I appreciate it. But however, I did not bullshit on my greatness. I did meditate. I just ain't posted. I thought I posted it. I was like, daggone it. I woke up this morning. Man, you ain't posted. Okay, fair enough. We rocking.
I ain't gonna shoot either. I'm good.
Yeah, the giveaway's still happening. We still rocking. We still got everything going. You know. Okay. Do this. Do not make meditation the last thing on your schedule. Make it the first. Then, when you feel that now is not, when it is not an effort, when you can sit for an hour together, completely immersed in breathing, aware, attentive, when you only know this, that you have achieved attention of breathing without any effort. When you are relaxed and enjoying it without any forcing, then you have attained it. Then add something else, for example, walking. Remember, both then go on adding things. After certain periods, you will be capable of becoming aware of your breath continuously, even in sleep. We're going to come back to that. And unless you are aware even in sleep, you will not be able to know the depth. But this comes by and by. But this comes by and by. This comes. So I'm gonna say that again because I kind of messed it up, and I wanted to read it again because it was fire. Okay. After a certain period, you will be capable of being aware of your breath continuously, even in sleep. And unless you are aware in sleep, you will not be able to know the depth. I state that because here's the experience that I have that brings this to my mind space. When I'm at sleep at night and then I wake up and I feel my body, but I don't open my eyes, and if I don't do something to tell myself that I'm awake, I can go back to sleep and completely forget that I did it. Anyone ever wake up and talk to somebody in your sleep and then go back to sleep and be like, nah, we ain't had that conversation? Nah, I'm like, I recorded you this time. Technology. But that would be it. But it does open up a whole nother level because you're trusting yourself. You're trusting yourself to go into that automated state. You're trusting your surroundings that your body won't be harmed. This is where I don't want to get too deep into it. Maybe we'll see what people say. But this is where like astral projection, or what's the other one? It's like out of body observation something. Remote viewing. That's what it is. Remote viewing. That's where these things come from. Because your consciousness leaves the body. It starts there. It starts in the breath. You got to be aware of it while you sleep. Because if you're aware of it while you're awake, what's the difference? Hi! Oh, little kids. Okay, all right. I'm going to drop some gems for you, little one. One has to be patient, and one has to start rightly. Know this, because the cunning mind will always try to give you a wrong start. Then you can leave it after 2 or 3 days and say, this is hopeless. The mind will give you the wrong start. So always remember to begin rightly, because rightly begun means half done. But we're starting wrongly. And I agree with that. Like, just like the whole mindset of me waking up in the morning, oh man, or going to sleep at night, oh man, I'm creating that energy around the thing that I want to do. Why would I want to put that type of energy in something that I'm excited for, something that I know is going to help myself? It's these little things. You know very well that attention is a different thing. This is because you're totally asleep. So, if you start being attentive to breathing while you are doing something else, you cannot do it. And you're not going to leave this task. You're going to leave the effort of being attentive to breathing. That's facts. And then say that this doesn't work. But you didn't do it. You didn't put the mind into it. You can do it. It's all up to you. Okay. All right. Here's some of the things that they say. Ooh, I like this. So do not create unnecessary problems for yourself. In 24 hours, you can find a small corner for 20 minutes will do. So do the technique there. But the mind will give many excuses. The mind will say, where's the time? There's already too much work to be done. Where's the time? Or the mind will say, it is not possible now to postpone it. It is not it is not possible now, so postpone it. Oh, so postpone it. Sometimes in the future, when things are better, oh yeah, just putting it off for later. Yeah. Be aware that your mind, of what your mind says to you. Do not become trusting of the mind. We are never doubtful. We can doubt everyone, but we never doubt our own minds. That's another impactful part. We don't doubt our own minds, knowing that we walked into the room yesterday and don't even remember why we walked into the room and had to go back into the other room to come back into the kitchen. Or you go into the fridge and you open it up and you're like, what am I? Reset. But we doubt other people more than we doubt our own minds when it proves to us when we're wrong. Again, that practice that we do on Tuesdays helps to bring that awareness to us. It helps to build that awareness. And it is impactful. And when it's done rightly, like he said, rightly done. What did he say? Rightly started is half done. I don't know. It was smooth. It was a little smooth. Always begin rightly, because rightly begun is half done. Rightly begun is half done. I'm with that. Moving forward. Even those who talk so much of skepticism and doubt of reason, they never doubt their own minds. Oh, and there's the other funny part. They don't doubt their own minds, however, they have a doubting mind and don't doubt it. That's like saying, we don't even have to go into that, because all I had was like jokes that'll get me banned off of IG and all these other platforms. That's another one. We'll talk about that in the DMs. Even those who walk, your mind has brought you the state that you are in. If you are in hell, your mind must have brought you this hell, and you never doubt this guide. You can doubt any teacher, any master, but you never doubt your own mind. With unflinching faith, you move with your mind as the guru, and the mind has brought you the mess, the misery that you are. If you are going to doubt anything, first doubt your own mind. And whenever your mind says something, think twice. I like that. Whenever your mind says something, think twice, because even if you don't like doubt it or you're like, no, this is something real, it gives you that moment and it builds up that gap, that moment between trigger and response for when in the awareness too, oh, this is the mind talking to me, to that process. Oh, you trying to trick me and come through the back door. I see what you did there. Ah ha ha. I'm gonna stay on my toes and drink my tea on the website. All right. Is it true that you do not have any time? Really? You don't have any time to meditate, to give 1 hour of meditation. Think twice. Ask again and again to the mind, is it the case that you do not have time? I don't see it. I have not seen a man who does not have more than enough time. I go on seeing people who are playing cards, as they say, we are killing time. They're going to the movies and they say, what to do, we're killing time, gossiping, reading the same newspaper again and again, talking about the same things. This is another one. So we can say like scrolling on the phone. We can say Instagram, Facebook, social media. We can say, oh, it's the comments, it's the DMs. We can say someone's texting us. It's the emails, work's doing this. It's always going to be something to stop us. We're not here to like let things stop us. We're here to find ways around it. And that's why flexibility is so important. It's not just physical, it's mental flexibility.
The show, I was about to say, the entertainment. That's what it comes down to for me. It comes down to entertainment. And is entertainment a distraction or is entertainment beneficial?
It is beneficial. However, I feel as though this is when it comes to the balance.
Exactly, because for me, like I remember I went through a period where like there was nothing but guided meditations and affirmations and quotes and stuff for like a straight week. Maybe you put on a show at something that was less blocking of energy and more designed to encourage better flow.
Ooh, where we at? Where we at? Okay. With an unnecessary thing, mind is not in any danger. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I might have to go back some. Oh, the other quote that I had, it was like a unfulfilled man or a bored man fills his time with pleasures. That's another thing that's straight facts. It's like, oh, let me get that quick dopamine. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Someone's giving me attention. What did they like? Oh, okay. Another one would be, you get it. Okay. But I wanted to say that. We distract ourselves with pleasures when we want to procrastinate. All right. With an unnecessary thing, mind is not in any danger. The moment you think of meditation, the mind becomes alert. Now you are moving in a dangerous dimension because meditation means the death of the mind. If you move into meditation, sooner or later, your mind will have to dissolve, retire completely. The mind becomes alert and it begins to say many things to you. Where is the time? Even if there is time, even then more important things need to be done. First, postpone it till later. You can meditate anytime. Money is more important. Gather money first, then meditate at your leisure. How can you meditate without money? So pay attention to money, then meditate later on. Facts. That I used to do that. I used to come up with I need to brush my teeth first. I mean, I do brush my teeth now that I had and created the habit. But before I was like, nah, just literally just sit up. And then once I created the habit, it was like, nah, I am now aware of my posture and my breath creeping up into my nostrils with my mouth closed. So no for me. We gotta scrub these Jones. They wasn't that bad, but you get what I'm saying. Meditation can be postponed easily. You feel because it's not concerned with your immediate survival. Bread can not be postponed. You will die. Money cannot be postponed. It is a need for basic necessities. Meditation can be postponed. You can survive without it. Really, you can survive without it easily. The moment you go deep into meditation, you will not survive on this earth at least. You will disappear. From your circle of this life, this wheel, you will disappear. Meditation is the death, so the mind becomes afraid. And why he's saying death, I think it's shock value thing. It also is like a death in a sense. Anyway, the mind is looking for things to process. That's why when we open our eyes, it can be a little bit more challenging to concentrate than closing your eyes. It can go different ways for different people. Hit me in the DMs if you want to know what's up. If you got any questions about that. So it's the death of the mind in a sense that if the mind's always looking for things to process and to be attentive to, meditation is going beyond all of those things that the mind is processing, those sifts that we talk about, that sift meditation. So the mind don't want to not be here. It wants to do something. So immediately it's going to come up with a reason to not do it because its survival is on the line. Moving forward. Moving way forward. He said, I've come across many intelligent people who go on saying unintelligent things about meditation. One man came from Delhi, and he is a big governmental official. He came only for the purpose of learning meditation here. He had come from Delhi and stayed for 7 days here. I told him to go to the morning meditation class on Chowpatty Beach in Bombay. But he said, but that is difficult. I cannot get up so early. And he will never think over what the mind has told him. So this is difficult. Now you will know. The exercise can be simple, but your mind is not simple. The mind says, how can I get up in the morning at 6 o'clock? I like that explanation. That was a good breakdown. I'm right with that. Let me know where we at. Oh, we got a little bit more time. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read through some of this. I don't need to jump around as much as I thought I did. Okay, I told him come in the morning, but I've had that happen to me a lot. Someone said, "Oh, where do I get started with yoga?" Start sun salutations. Sun salutations. Well, what are they? I'll send you the link. I have them and have done them and have options and variations for all different levels. Here you go. Oh, okay. So when should I do them? I recommend in the morning, but you can do then. I say, let me solve the doubting mind that's going to come right after this. But you can do it at any time. Oh, anytime. Okay. Well, how long does it take? Then they start asking more questions as opposed to, yeah, I want to do this and try this experience. I want this change. Action. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Same thing with morning meditation. Y'all trying to get that morning meditation happening? Hop on my stories and vote, like, vote, share, meditate, vote, and share. Dag on it, and let other people know we got some good stuff happening, and that'll get you your entry into this month's giveaway, which we'll be announcing on February 2nd, because we need one day to get the end of the 31st in the process. Anyway, it's gonna be out there. Jump in with us. All right. I told him, come in the morning, 5 o'clock. He said that's not possible. It is a question of life and death, but he cannot give up 5 o'clock, he said. That is not possible. I never get up so early. I told him, then come at 10. He said that would be difficult because by 10:30, I have to be present in my office. This is why the Mysore practice is so great. I'm going to take all the excuses away. You got till from 6:30 to 9 to come in and do your own flow. What's your excuse? The class don't start till you get there because it's your practice, it's your building, and then we grow together. Right? Come on now. He cannot take one day's leave, and the question is, and it is a question of life and death. So I told him, it is a question of your life and death or my life and death. Whose? And he was not an unintelligent man. He was intelligent enough. These tricks are very intelligent. So the smarter the mind, the more tricky the tricks. So don't think, oh, I'm smart now. I do this and I know that. Yeah, all those things that you're real confident about is exactly where it's hiding. Moving forward. So you say I'm a Hindu again. I'll skip through some of that. All right. The past, the conditioning, the mind is constantly molding you and destroying your present. So remember and be aware. Be skeptical and doubting your mind. Do not trust it. If you can attain this maturity of not trusting your mind, only then will these techniques be real simple, helpful, and functioning. They will work like miracles, and they can work miracles. Facts. Once the mind gets out the way, it's just what we're doing with the practice each day. Going back to that area. Oh, I didn't know how to move my body. I didn't know how to roll my shoulder open to lift my ribs up and reach my shoulder girdle out to create more space so my scapula is spread apart from my spine. So now my musculature is supporting my skeletal structure and I'm not just crunching in and creating that compression like we were talking about earlier. Okay. These techniques and methods cannot be understood intellectually at all. I am trying the impossible, but then why am I trying? If they cannot be understood intellectually, then why am I talking to you? They cannot be understood intellectually. But there is no other way to make you aware of certain techniques which can change your life totally. Come to class tomorrow. You can understand only intellect, and that is the problem. You cannot understand anything else. You can only understand intellect, and these techniques cannot be understood intellectually. So how can we communicate? Either you should become capable of understanding without intellect being brought in, or some methods should be found that these techniques can be made intellectually understandable. The second is not possible, but the first is possible. So you just gotta do it. Drink the water, daggone it. Hydrate and hydrate often as well. And I like this because then he starts going into breaking down how the mind does those tricks here, and ways to go around it. Still, those 4 techniques we talked about. Watch the gap. Watch the gap between the breaths. Watch the fusion point of the breath. Watch the turning point of the breath, and be aware when the breathing stops. Those 4 techniques will help you to become aware of these moments. You will have to start intellectually, but do not cling to it. When I say do, try doing. If something begins to happen within you, then you will be capable of throwing your intellect aside and reaching toward me directly without the intellect, without any effort, without the mediator, but start doing something. This creates that flow state so we can go beyond that mental space that we're in, that conscious that we're sitting in, and understand and connect the breath. All right, so that's why I'd be like, flow. Just do it in the morning. Get the ball rolling. We can go on talking for years and years. Your mind can be stuffed with many things, but that's not going to help. Rather, it may harm you because you will begin to know many things. And if you know many things, you will become confused. Yo, it is not good to know many things. It is good to know little and to practice it. That's why you always see like those Asian masters and in all of those Japanese anime. That's what I be watching. They be doing like the one technique. That's all they do. What's his name? The old guy chief who died in Hunter x Hunter. He practiced that one punch, and then he was just like a straight up beast. Then One Punch Man, dag on it, he did the push-ups in the morning. He had like his routine that he did that made him like super strong, and he can one punch and beat anything, blah blah blah. It's always like that one technique, that one thing they do, and they practice it over and over. They embed it in their consciousness. They understand everything about it. Where the passage opens, where the breath hits, how it shifts, how to move it, where feeling the breath itself and not just the passage. Okay. A single technique can be helpful. Something done is always helpful. What is the difficulty in doing it? Deep down somewhere there is fear. The fear that if you do it, many things it may be that something stops happening. That is the fear. You may look paradoxical. It may look paradoxical, but I have been meeting so many persons who think that they want change. They say they need meditation. They ask for deep transformation, but deep down they're also afraid. They are dual double. They have two minds. They go on asking about what they want to do and never doing it. Why then do they go on asking? Just to deceive themselves that they are really interested in transforming themselves. That is why they are asking. Ooh, now I put in the effort. That's like, I know, I put in the effort. Oh, okay, I'm a come. All right, oh, I didn't make it. I'm gonna hit you back. Okay, that's why I started charging for classes, because now y'all asses show up. I love it. Okay. And I strongly support the fear. In the two minds. It's definitely like fighting yourself and then not choosing and making a decision of which one you actually want. This gives a facade and an appearance that it's actually sincere and interested in changing themselves. That is why they are asking, going to this guru to end that. Trying, but they never do anything. Deep down, they're afraid. Enrich From has written a book, The Fear of Freedom. The title seems contradictory. Everyone thinks that they like freedom. Everyone thinks that they're endeavoring for freedom in this world, that they're endeavoring for freedom in this world, in that world also. We want Makash, liberation. We want to be freed from all limitations, from the slaveries, but we want to be totally free, they say. But Rich Fromm says that man is afraid of freedom. I strongly support these thoughts. We want it. We want the option of it. Ooh, that's what it is. We want the option of freedom, but the comforts of, this is cool. I know it. I like it. Go on saying that we want it, convincing ourselves that we want it, but deep down we're afraid of freedom. Blah blah. We do not want it. Why? Why this duality? Freedom creates fear, and meditation is the deepest freedom possible. You are not freed only from the outward limitation. You are also freed from the inner slavery, the very mind, the base of slavery. The mind is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master. That's not in the book. I didn't make it up either, but it's fire. You are freed from the whole past. The moment you have no mind, the past has disappeared. You have transcended history. Now there is no society, no religion, no scripture, no tradition, because they all have their own abode in the mind. Now there is no past, no future, because the past and future are parts of the mind, the memory and the imagination. Then you are here and now in the present, and there is not going to be any future. There will be now, in now, in now, in the eternal now. Then you are freed completely. You transcend all tradition, all history, body, mind, everything. One becomes free of the fearful, such freedom. One becomes free of the fearful, such freedom. Then where will you be? In such freedom, can you exist? In such freedom, in such vastness, can you have your small I, your ego? Can you say, I am? And this gets into the identity and like our sense of self among who we are, with what are we contributing to the world, to our family. Let's start small. What are we contributing to our family? What are we contributing to our friends? What are we contributing to our larger circle, to our community, to people that are around us? Even if you don't like them, they still here. Contribution. This is my contribution. I love y'all. All right. Let's see. We were over here. You can say, I'm in, oh, no, I didn't read that. Such freedom? Yeah, I did. You can say, I'm in bondage because you can know your boundary. When there's no bondage, there's no boundary. When you become just a state, nothing more, absolute nothingness, emptiness, that creates fear. So one goes on talking about meditation, about how to do it, and one goes on without doing it. All the questions arise out of this fear. Feel this fear. If you know it, it will disappear. If you do not know it, it will continue. Are you ready to die in the spiritual sense? Are you ready to be not? I really like that one. All the questions arise out of this feel this fear. If you know it, it will disappear. If you know it, if you don't know it, it will continue. And that's having the awareness of knowing how the mind tricks you. If you're not aware of it, you're never gonna know. If you deny the fact that it's a possibility, you're perpetuating it, because even those moments, maybe you're right 1 out of 10 times, but those other 9 times you were wrong, and you're going on putting on a narrative as if you were right. Lies, satya, one of those neons that we don't want to do. We don't want to lie, because that just creates a whole reality, a whole world that we have to keep up, and it's shitty. All right. Whenever anyone came to Buddha, he would say, "This is the basic truth, that you are not, and because you are not, you cannot die. You cannot be born, and because you are not, you cannot be in suffering, in bondage. Are you ready to accept this?" Buddha would ask. You want that freedom? You want that power? Are you ready to accept this? Or if you are not ready to accept this, then do not try meditation now. First try to find out whether you really are or you are not. Meditate on this first. Is there any self? That's the question. We're gonna come back on it. We're gonna hit this on Thursday. Is there any self? And it's gonna be some gems. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about the spirit body as well, and some of that stuff we tapped in on earlier. If you manage to find out, you will find that your body is a combination of something that has come from your mother, something that's come from your father, and all else comes from food. This is your body. In this body, you are not. There is no self. Contemplate on the mind. Something has come from here, something from there. Mind has nothing that is original. It is just an accumulation. Ooh, that's bars right there. Ooh. Find out if there is any self in the mind. If you move deep, you will find that your identity is just like an onion. You peel off one layer and another layer comes up. You peel off another and another layer comes up. You go on peeling off layers, and ultimately you come to a nothingness. With all the layers thrown off, there's nothing inside. Body and mind are like onions. When you have peeled off the body, the mind, then you can encounter the nothingness, an abyss, a bottomless void. Buddha calls it shunya. Let me see what we looking like on time. let's see how much is left in the section. Okay, we finished the section. It's only like one more page. And then the 5 techniques of attentiveness. Oh, attention and attentive. And attention and awareness, 2 different things. That's next week. To encounter this shunya, to encounter this void, creates fear. That fear is there. That is why we never do meditation. We talk about it, but we never do anything about it. That fear is there. You know deep down that there is a void, but you cannot escape this fear. Whatsoever you do, the fear will remain unless you encounter it. That is the only way once you encounter your nothingness. Once you know that within you are just like a space, a shunya, then there will be no fear. Then there cannot be any fear, because this shunya, this void, cannot be destroyed. This void is not going to die. That which was going to die is no more. It has nothing but the layers of an onion. Oh, we might get into a little bit deep, because he's talking too much stuff right now, and I don't really want to get off, but I gotta pee. So we a little, it was a little tricky.
I was thinking that whole time you was drinking the tea, like we was like 20 minutes in, and I was thinking he not gonna make it. I was thinking it, because I've been there. I'm drinking for 16 years, and now you got those days where you just thirsty, or and I'm just like, yeah, I got it.
I think I'm making it worse for myself, but it's cool. I'm gonna rock with it. I'm gonna flow with it. I'm gonna flow with it. We're gonna see how long I can keep it up. It is difficult to find a man. It's difficult to find a man, and I have looked into many, who has not tried meditation once or twice in some life. The memory is there, but you are not conscious of it. You are not aware that there is memory there. So if you believe in reincarnation, if you believe in any form of our body doesn't, our that abyss that he's talking about, us, that conscious doesn't die, that we are just the body that we've accumulated, that we are more than just the body that we've accumulated since we've been here, then this might play into a little bit. You got some questions about that? Again, slide in the chat, slide in the DMs. Let's get it. Okay. It is there. Whenever you begin to do something that becomes a barrier. This and that begin to stop you in many ways. So, if you are really interested in meditation, find out about your own fear of it. Be sincere about it. Are you afraid? If you are afraid, then first something must be done about your fear, not about meditation. This is important. That's an important thing right there. Buddha used to try many devices. Sometimes someone would say to him, "I'm afraid of trying meditation," and and this is a must. The master must be told that you are afraid. You cannot deceive the master, and there is no need in it is deceiving yourself. So when someone would say, "I'm afraid of meditation," Buddha would say, "You are fulfilling the first requirement." If you say to yourself that you are afraid of meditation, then something becomes possible. Then something can be done because you have uncovered a deep thing. I like that, right? Right? You have to acknowledge that there is something going on. Otherwise, we're just saying that, no, nothing's, just like you were saying in the beginning, no, everything's wrong, everything's fine, and the world's like falling down behind you, the table's burning. Like, come on now. All right. So what is the fear? What is the fear? Meditate on it. Go and dig out where it comes from. What is the what the source is. All the fear is basically death oriented. I support those thoughts. Hi. Yeah. You too. I see you in the back getting it. I got the shoulders going. It's a good time. AJ, what up, though? And who's the one in the front? Hey, Michelle. AJ and Michelle. Woo! All right.
Yeah, he's on TV on Thursdays and Mondays and random days during the week if I miss
on now. That's their family.
Knows you.
Oh, that's warm. I just got hot. I feel like I gotta take the sweater off. I love it. Oh. Okay, let's get back to it. We almost done. With the day. Whatsoever it forms, mode, whatsoever its shape, name, all the fear is death-oriented. If you move deep, you will find that you are afraid of death. The name, the shape, what we call ourselves, what we identify ourselves with. Hey, I ain't able to see. What's goody? Go on, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you at. All right. If someone came to Buddha and said, I'm afraid of death, I've found this out, Buddha would say, then go to the burning gnat. Go to the cemetery and meditate on a funeral pyre. People are dying daily. They will be burned. Just remain there and at the cemetery and meditate on the burning pyre. When their family members have gone, you remain there. Just look at the fire, at the burning body. Then everything is becoming smoke. You just look at it deeply. Do not think. Just meditate on it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. When it becomes a certainty to you that death cannot be escaped, when you become absolutely certain that death is the way of life, that death is implied in life, that death is going to be, that there is no way out, that you're already in it, only then come to me. It's like, hey, I'm gonna give you some homework, something to work on, and come back. Let's see what we can work. Damn, don't that sound a lot like the practice that I be talking about that you can join me on tomorrow? Sign up on the FloatingYogi.com. Hold up, where is it? Right there. Okay. When death is certain and there's no fear. When death is certain and there's no fear, fear is always with things which can be changed. If death is to be, fear disappears. If you can change, if you can do something about death, then fear will remain. If nothing can be done, if you're already in it, then it's absolutely certain that fear will disappear. When fear of death has disappeared, Buddha would allow you to meditate. He would say, now you can meditate. I support those thoughts. Now you're ready to drink. So you also go deep into your mind, and listening to these techniques will be helpful only when your inner barriers are broken, when inner fears disappear, and when you're certain that death is a reality. So, if you die in meditation, there is no fear. Death is certain. One way when I'm feeling like that whole death concept, when I be meditating and it just feel like I'm about to fall. When you have that experience, slide in the DMs. Let's see. Only then can you move at rocket speed because the barriers are not there. It is not distance that takes time. It's the barriers. You can move this very moment if there are no barriers. If you are already there, but for barriers, it is a hurdle race. And you go on putting up more and more hurdles. You feel good when you hurdle across, you feel good, and now you've crossed another hurdle. And the idiocracy of it, the foolishness of it, is that the hurdle was placed there by you in the first place. It was never really there. So you go on putting up hurdles because you like to jump. That's not in the book, but jumping over them and feeling good. And then you go on putting up more hurdles. And then you've moved in a circle and you never reach the center. Just stuck in that spot. Okay, so, this is the last page. Mind creates hurdles because mind is afraid. It will give you many explanations as to why you are not doing meditation. Do not believe it. Go deep. Find the basic cause. And why does this person go on talking about food that has never yet eaten? What is the problem? The man seems mad. Another man goes on talking about love and never loves. Another man goes on, I'm gonna say that one again. Another man goes on talking about love and never loves. Another man goes on talking about something else and never does anything about it. This talking becomes obsessive. It becomes a compulsion. Freak, yeah. One goes on and sees talking and doing sees talking as doing. By talking, you feel like you're doing something. You feel at ease. You're doing something, at least talking, at least reading, at least listening, at least not. This is not doing. This is deceptive. Do not fall into this deception. I'll be talking here about these 112 methods, not to feed your mind, not to make you more knowledgeable, but to make you more informed. I'm not trying to make you a pundit. I'm not talking here in order to give you a certain technique so you can change your life. So whichever method appeals to you, do not start talking about it. Be silent about it and do it. Your mind will raise many questions. Just inquire deeply first before asking me. Inquire deeply first whether those questions are really significant of your mind or if it's just your mind deceiving you. Ooh, right? Do, then ask. Then your questions become practical. We got something to talk about. Oh, when this happened, what did you do? When that happened, how did you respond? What did you feel? What do you feel about this? How does that affect anything else you're trying to manifest in this world? Okay. And which questions have been asked through doing, and which questions have been asked through curiosity? Oh my gosh. And I know which questions have been asked through doing and which questions have been asked through curiosity. Straight facts. Just through intellect. So by and by, I will not answer your intellectual questions at all. Do something, then your questions become significant. Then these questions, which say this exercise is a very simple one, are not asked after doing. It is not so simple. In the end, I must repeat again. You are already the truth. Only a certain awakening is needed. You are not to go anywhere else. You are not to go into yourself, into going to the and the going is possible this very moment. If you can put aside your mind and enter here and now, these techniques are not for putting your mind aside. These techniques are not really for meditation. They are for putting your mind aside. Once the mind is not there, you are. I think this is enough for the day, or even more than enough. That's in the book. I didn't write that one. That wasn't off the cuff. So this week's meditation on Thursday, just something to think about. Maybe you start doing it, or some of these other techniques we were talking about. Meditate on this first. Is there any self? That's what we're going to talk about on Thursday. Boom. Hold up. Flip it, because I was... Again, thanks again for vibing with us, for hanging tight. We was a little bit over today, but I'm glad you was vibing with us and still interacting and whatnot. Monday is book club. We're here every Monday thanks to Yogi, Urban Yogi Wellness and Education, Restructuring Health and Wellness in the Community. I'm Jarek Browner. I'm the Floating Yogi, and I got a whole bunch of stuff. Check out my website, thefloatingyogi.com. MBK, tomorrow, it is their 1 year anniversary. They got ladies night. Check it out. I'm going to be reposting it on IG, so check out the stories, and I'm sure Tony going to be dropping them jumps too. Payoga! Yeah! And what else?
Okay, I'm gonna have something for you to invite people to, but right now I'm just great vibing and following. Like everybody else already got their stuff together, so I'm gonna just chill with y'all.
Just enjoy the vibes, right? Yo, thank you.
Reinvent the wheel. Why everybody gotta be a creator? Why everybody wanting to go viral? Why everybody trying to, quit their job to do something online at their home? Like, no, I'm gonna take care of my kids.
I support those thoughts, and we need to see more of it. So that's why I love having you here. What? Black man, family, making it happen. Come on, now they're with the kids all the time. Like, nah, squash those narratives. Squash those trash narratives. We out here. Okay. Squash those trash narratives. We out here doing it for our families. Yeah, and in that face, you see that? See, you getting me excited to go back home to Jumi. All right, let me thank these people so we get up out of here. I'd like to thank Mono's Detox. You can check out the smoothies on the website. They'll be up. Also, we have those teas. These teas that got me peeing. They coming up too. Boom, boom, boom. We got 4 blends with Blue Lotus and a couple of them. It's some fire stuff. Come to the shop, check it out. They smell amazing. You can use them as potpourri, dag on it. Outside of that, oh, and a bunch of health benefits with them. It's going to be on the label, on the website, all that stuff. I'd like to thank Born to Fly Fitness, where fitness is fashion. I'd like to thank Surreal Audio Solutions, DJ Thrill, No Commercials International, no commercials. It's some fire coming, I'm telling you. You can listen to our meditation track on all streaming platforms, and that could be your day to your way to tap into our daily meditation, to stop bullshitting on your greatness and saying, nah, I am going to do this first thing. I am going to make this change to be a better version of myself. And make these steps. You can also come tomorrow. I got off of that. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Oh, Buddha Blessing, the bowls, the instruments are also available on the website as well. Ooh, magic right there. And these are flown in from India, from Buddha Blessing. Outside of that, now that we're done with that, Tuesday night at 6 p.m. we have Ashtanga half primary. That's another way to create your own practice, just like how we're doing with this meditation. It's the same thing with your flow. Opening your body up, it goes through from the ground up, opening up the mind, body, and energy, and brings aware and builds up that spiritual conscious awareness that we were talking about in the book. That breath awareness, being able to be aware of this, aware of that, by being able to do something with that awareness, with that attention, and then split. So we can get deeper into it next Monday, reading a little bit more, and flow with us Tuesday. Thursday we back. Is there any self? That's the meditation. Saturday we have the float and flow. That's at 10:30. Let's get it. It's just shenanigans. Tickets on the website. And Sunday, every Sunday, we have Elevated Sift and Flow, and tickets are on the website. You can use this one right here. Hold on, let me get a sniff so you can get a real. Once it just hits the nostrils. Whew! I tell you, you can even mix it with your tree. That's what I'm about to do after I leave. Let's get it! Peace and love, kings, queens, and gods. Thanks for flowing with me. Please, Rashida.